we're gonna do a day out with Miss Hine, and we're gonna put our math into a summer day. So today I'm taking you to Waco, Texas, and we are going to do BSR Cable Park. Get ready for some fun. So right there is my Landon. And then we'll keep going and we'll get some different heights. And your prediction, who will have the biggest splash?
And I weigh 94.8 pounds. My name is Matt Hine. I weigh 106 pounds.
106.2. Which brother weighs more? Which brother, Landon or Mac, weighs more? Okay, for this lesson, we are subtracting decimals, but we talked about the weight of Mac and Landon. So this was Landon's weight. And Landon was 94.8. Okay. Mac was 106.2. When I say point, I'm talking about the decimal. Those are your decimals. Okay. So before I begin, I want to compare them. Remember, when you're comparing, you're saying greater than or less than, and you have signs that look like this. Greater than, less than, or equal to. The alligator mouth always eats the bigger number. The alligator mouth always eats the bigger number. Okay, so that reads 94.8 is less than 106.2. So Mac weighs more than Landon. Remember, you're always making your alligator eat the bigger number. The alligator eats the bigger number. Do you think the greater weight will have the greater splash? Or do you think the less weight will have the greater splash? Which will have the greater splash? So our question is, what's the difference between the boys' weight? If this was a STAR test, it would read something like, if this was a STAR test or a 5th grade math test, it would read like, if Lennon weighs 94.8 pounds and Mac weighs 106.2 pounds, what is the difference in weight between the boys? So we have to remember to always pick out our information. The question always tells us what to do in math. So we know that Landon weighs 94.8 pounds, right? So Landon's going to weigh that much. And Mac weighs 106.2 pounds. So that's our information. What is the difference? This is our key word in math. When we see the word difference, that tells us to subtract. That tells us to subtract. Minus. In weight. Between the boys. So we have to subtract the weight between boys. That's just simplifying it a little bit. Subtract the weight between the boys. So we know that Landon is 94.8, right? And we know that Mac is 106.2 pounds. But we need to subtract. So in order for us to do that, I'm going to move my camera down just a little bit so we have more room to write. Okay? So we're going to subtract. The most important thing that you remember is to line up your decimals when you're doing subtraction. You're going to line up your decimals. But you don't ever want the smaller number on top. You always want the bigger number in subtraction. So you would write 106 point or decimal 2. 106.2. So we have our 106.2, and then we said we're going to subtract, so we need our minus sign, and we said 94.8. 94.8. If you remember, the first thing I just told you was to line up your decimals. Are my decimals lined up? No, they are not. So I did not line up my decimals correctly. So I'd have to erase this. I'm going to put my decimal point below. So now they are lined up. I will put my 8 and my 94. 94.8. See how my decimals are lined up? And when I subtract, I know I have to line up my decimals. So I'm just going to bring it on down. I'm just going to bring it on down. Okay? If I had 106.23 and I had 94.1, I still line up my decimals. If I need to hold place value, you know you always put the 0 there. And that will hold your place value. So your decimals, they're putting you to the tenths place. So remember, this is ones, tens, hundreds. When we go to the other side, we start with the TH. Tenths. You can't take 8 from 2. So you have to come and borrow from the 6. The 6 becomes a 5, and we put our 1 over here. The 12 minus 8. 12 minus 8. 8 gives us 4. Then we come back over and we do our 5 minus 4 gives us 1. We can't take 9 from nothing. We can't take 9 from nothing. So we have to borrow from the hundreds. Make that a 10. 10 minus 9 gives you 1. Your answer is 11.4. I know STAR will usually have multiple choice, but when you are answering a math problem, you should answer in full sentences. Like Mac weighs 11.4 pounds greater than Landon. 11.4 pounds greater than Landon. Okay. That is not a lot of weight. 11.4 pounds is not a lot of weight. So I'm not sure that our difference is large enough to tell us, but let's check it out. We're going to watch Mac and Landon. So this is Mac on the Royal Flush, and he's in the top slide here. Front flip. Now let's watch both the boys in the same slide. Mac. And now Landon. Same slide. Good landing, but not a lot of difference. Okay, so there was not a lot of difference in the boys' splashes, but let's see if we do a father and a son. If there's a bigger weight difference, will it make a difference in splash?
My name is Matt Kine. I weigh 106 pounds.
106.2.
My name is Warren Hine. I'm 231.4 pounds.
If Mac weighs 106.2 pounds and his dad weighs 231.4 pounds, what is the weight difference between Mac and his dad? If Mac weighs 106.2 pounds and his dad weighs 231.4 pounds, what is the weight difference between Mac and his dad? For Thursday, please complete the word problem that we just read. Please complete the word problem and predict who is going to make the bigger splash. Will it be Mac or his dad? Will the weight difference make a difference in the splash?